Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for this video because I attended my first ever YALC. If you don't know what YALC is, it stands for the Young Adult Literature Convention. So it's part of London Film and Comic Con. It happens once a year, although it hasn't happened for a couple of years because of the pandemic. So this is the first proper one that came back. Now that I work in marketing and publicity, I had access to the event for the whole weekend. So of course I vlogged everything from start to finish. The prep was definitely one of the most interesting parts for me. I absolutely loved doing events, event planning, event management, that sort of stuff, and therefore I found it really interesting to look at all the behind the scenes, work with the marketers to see what our stand is going to look like. So YALC is an event that happens every summer. Publishers each have a stand or a booth to sell books, do activities, incentivise newsletter sign-ups, etc. And that is exactly what we did, and I would hope that our hockey stand did not disappoint. So I work at Bonnier Books UK. One of our imprints for the YA and teen books is called Hockey Books, therefore we were hockey books for the weekend. So a lot of the planning involved was to do with our authors. Our publicity manager pitched a lot of our authors in the early beginning stages, therefore we actually had a significant amount of our authors there. But what this meant was we had to cover their travel and accommodation. So it was booking flights, it was booking taxis, it was booking hotel stays. From a publicity point of view, that's something that I did. What it then meant as well is on the day, making sure that before the event, the authors knew exactly how to contact us, let us know if there was any issues, whatever. And then on the sort of more marketing side, obviously we had a stand to dress. So you can either buy like a stand or you can buy a bigger booth, which is what we went for. So we went for the big booth, and I'm really glad that we did because as you'll see in the later videos, we split it up into a selling stand and an activity stand. So decoration wise, Hockey Books was founded 10 years ago, which made this year our 10th birthday, our 10th anniversary, and that's the theme that we ran with. You can have anything that you like, it's dependent on the publisher, but we were going with the birthday theme. We chose black and gold as our main theme, and we made every decoration fit into that. So one of the fun jobs that I had was basically have some money, go shopping, go buy some stuff for black and gold. So some of it I did in person, so I could see things like the size of the fabric and the material, which we used as our backdrop. And I went out and bought some balloons, but a lot of it I bought online. So I was looking at things like tablecloths, balloons, obviously, and then you have like logistics and things like that. So if you're having balloons, you had to have helium, and there's more kind of like behind the scenes of even with that. So I had to email the venue and be like, I just want to make sure, can we bring helium in, because they were quite strict on sort of health and safety stuff. Like we had to buy high-vis jackets to wear on the setup day. So in preparation for YALC, I've ordered loads of decorations to the office, and I've just come in for the first time in like 2 weeks, I guess, because there was train strikes, and we have a lot of stuff. All this, I've just unpacked some of it, and all these boxes. It's always really good when things turn out better than you thought. Like this is a fat roll of gold ribbon, so I don't think we need any more than that. And then on the marketing side as well, a few of our marketers had to decide on what sort of activities we were running through the weekend that tie in with our books, our latest books that have either come out this year or are coming up. And they did not disappoint. A lot of people told us that like it was the best stand, we had the best activities, and I'm obviously biased, but I genuinely think that was the case because we had a lot going on, which I think really helped. We had activities in the morning and in the afternoon, so it meant that people could keep coming back and we had something else to offer. We had a big stand with all of the activities that we were running as well, so people knew exactly what was happening both on social media and on the day. As we approached the actual YALC weekend, we were having meetings with our team pretty much once a week to check in if there's anything last minute doing, if there's any delays. We unfortunately did experience some delays with things like tote bags, so we ordered like 700 tote bags and half of them got lost and half of them were late. Things like some of our bookmarks just didn't get delivered in time, and that was like no fault of our own. So I think with any kind of like event planning, these sort of things happen, and we're all really glad that it wasn't something major like the books, which initially we thought was going to happen, but that's a whole another story. So we spent quite a few months in advance planning the initial ideas, updating editorial on what we're going to be doing, liaising with our authors to see when they're coming down, and then we had the actual setup day. The YALC was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On the Thursday before, we had a setup day. So that's when the exhibitors, us as publishers, could go in and spend the whole day setting up our booth, making it look pretty. So all of us hired a van in the morning to collect us and our stuff from the office. We went into the office, we packaged everything up, which was a task in itself, making sure it's all in sensible boxes. Like we had a box per day, we had a box of decor, we had a box of supplies, even like that sort of stuff I like really enjoyed as well, I found it really satisfying. And then we headed to the venue. The venue was in a different location to where it has been before. Before, I think it was at the XL Centre, I could be completely wrong, but as this was my first one, I didn't have anything to compare it to, so this time it was at Kensington Olympia. Initially, the YALC team publicised the map of how it's going to look, and we were on a mezzanine, and a lot of people online were kind of worried that it wasn't going to be big enough. I definitely think it was. It was like a massive warehouse, and there was definitely more space for like chilling out and that sort of thing, but obviously as a publisher we had our set booth which we knew the measurements of. We got there, eventually got lost because it was also Comic-Con, as I've said before, so the downstairs area was film and Comic-Con and we were on the upstairs for YALC. When we got there we were a little bit earlier for the van, so we sat in the team, had a bit of lunch with the team, got our high vis on and ready for some hard work. We did literally spend, I think, the whole day, like 5 or 6 hours setting up our booth, because it was things like the backdrop, making sure that we had enough Velcro, making sure we could use the staple gun. We used like the tallest person on the team to do that. It was things like the fairy lights, they had to be unraveled, and even that took like 20 minutes, and it all kind of like added up together. It was definitely a bit stressful on the day for me because I was almost like in charge of the decor, if you like, and I was really nervous it wasn't going to look right. And because we hadn't had a sort of practice run, I'd basically just bought all this stuff, roughly drew out how I wanted it to look, and this is the first time that we were actually putting it together. Obviously this was a setup day, so if there wasn't any like emergency things that we needed to get, we could technically have got it on the Thursday, brought it in again Thursday afternoon or Friday morning. But I think it went well. I think it went down well. A lot of people were complimenting the stand, which I was really happy about. But yeah, the Thursday was basically just a big setup day. We had an explosion.
Oh, I'm scared now.
It's gonna make me jump. This makes me so nervous. Oh yay! Oh wait, they're like, yeah, they're like gold bombs as well. When they're done, we put the banner, the schedule on there. Should we have about 2 minutes now? Yep. Yeah.
It's fine.
Nice and sly.
We've got quite a lot to do, so let's not worry.
It's not, we're not focusing on it this week too much, but there was a card.
Oh,
and we want it, we want it to go
okay.
around.
Everybody have a cupcake. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday to me. What time? What time did you say? I look like panicked.
I'm literally like...
yeah, we're going to have a team photo before everyone goes. You can do. Rob, team photo before Molly goes. We're all looking our best, obviously. 3, 2, 1. Doesn't go, guys. You said it's not looking good. Oh, that looks cute. Yeah. Yeah. Go for it. So we can put it maybe like on top of the. Oh yeah. I've just remembered I'm still filming. It's been going like a good 20 minutes. We can have the happy birthday roll on it as well.
I'm very excited. That 10's backwards, so we just need to... Hang on. Very excited. I think the design looks great. You've done a great job of it. I'm a little bit sad our banner didn't arrive when it was supposed to, but we've done a nice improv in between, and hopefully at some point in the weekend it'll arrive. And yeah, I'm really excited for the weekend. It's nice to see some people.
So this is the list of activities. So we've got a stand here that outlines everything, and the activities are on this table here. So we've got this up ready for tomorrow morning, and then the other activities will be reset in the afternoon and the next morning. Over here we've got some POS that you can claim if you've bought a particular book. We've got some free POS. We've got these amazing Hotkey 10 samplers with insights, first few chapters from some of the best selling books that over the last 10 years in the Hotkey imprint. Over here we've got some POS that's free to take. Please help yourself. Over here we're just waiting for the Hotkey 10 banner to arrive to put it in the middle there. And then this is the book stand, and we've got the list of all the authors coming. Balloons, bunting, backdrop. Hey Beth! Hi. How are you feeling for the YALC?
Excited. Mainly to see Jacqueline Wilson, but...
I think we all pretty much left as soon as we finished because we knew it was going to be a very tiring weekend ahead of us. I've definitely learned even from that experience of doing the decorations, things like order more than you need. There's some stuff that I over-ordered, like the gold confetti. There's things I didn't order enough of, like the Velcro. We still had like just about enough because we were cutting it up into little strips, but I think in future I know sort of where to over-order and where to under-order. It obviously really helps having a theme as well. I knew everything was going to be black and gold, which helped when buying balloons and buying tablecloths and buying napkins, anything like that. Yeah, the setup day was fun in itself, and then it was time for actual YALC. Before I left on a Thursday as well, I had a quick wander around to see how the other publishers were doing. I was slightly nervous as well because we were next to Penguin Random House, which if you are aware of the publishing industry and you read books, you'll know that Penguin is the biggest. And so I thought, okay, pressure, because they had full-on builders, full-on crane, full-on external staff hired to do their booth. So I thought, okay, well, we definitely don't have the same sort of like budget for that, and I was slightly nervous that it was going to look like shit basically next to theirs, but I think it worked really well, and they had a totally different sort of like design to us anyway, so I think it was fine. That's the Penguin stand sitting up there. How's this next to it? But yeah, I went round and saw all the other publishers, spoke to a couple of them. It was quite nice because you're all working on the same thing. You kind of all know that you've been working on this for a few weeks. Everyone's a little bit nervous, especially because it's the first one back, so I think everyone was quite friendly but also tired at the end of the day. Then I had a quick sneak peek before actual YALC. So I'm going to have a walk around to all the other publishers to see what there's like. So this opposite us, Faber. Over there we have the Home of Heartstopper. I think this is Waterstones by the looks of it. You can pay here, and they've got all of the books here for all of the authors that are coming, I believe. At least that's the case for us anyway. This is what the other stands are looking like. They're all ready to go. It's about an hour to go. This is ours. Izzy's currently doing the social stuff. So this is our booth. We've got the main kind of booky things here, the POS stand here, and the activities bit here. And then this is the list of activities, POS stuff, Izzy's there. The venue is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be because there was a change of venue, so it's not in the same place that it has been before, but it's misleadingly really, really big. When we thought it was just going to be on a mezzanine, it's actually a lot bigger than you think it is. How are you feeling, Beth?
Really excited. How are you?
I'm good, I'm excited as well. I'm tired, but I'm excited. It's already looking really busy. There's already a queue at about 8:30 this morning, so that's like Comic-Con and film bit down there. Everyone's getting ready. That's a queue starting all the way over there. As publishers or exhibitors, we got there early, and that was well needed to prepare us for the rush that was day one up until 11:30. I was a little bit overwhelmed. I think we all were with how busy it was to start with. There were queues to get in. Obviously we could skip the queue with our lanyards, but I think because this year everyone had access to both Comic-Con and YALC as part of their ticket, everyone came super early for both events, and it was just rushed out of stall.
That is such a nice idea.
Within the first hour, the hotkey birthday party raffle game thing has gone.
I'll pretend that you're not.
We were quite near the entrance of YALC as well, so people come to us first. It was really good, spoke to so many people. I was on the activity stand first of all. So we split our booth into 2 stands, which I think really helped. We had one stand for selling, where people can buy the books that we publish, and then one for the activity stand. On the first day, I was mainly on the activity stand. So we had a codebreaker activity to support our book, The Ivory Key by Akshara and Mum. We had a load of clues about the books that we publish, and you put them all together, email us to win a prize that's kind of like stationery. It was really nice just to hand things out to people. People are really appreciative when you give them free stuff. So we're on the very last codebreaker activity. So guests are being given one of these to fill out, come back, do it by midnight, and they can claim the prize. And now we're switching over to the lucky dip.
Is this who I think it is? Terrifying. Hello. Hey guys. I'm Coco. I'm on YALC day 1. I'm enjoying it so far. I love the hotkey stand. Yes, the gold, the black and the gold. Thank you very much. I got some prints here as well. The state next year. Keep that in mind, kids. I have won nothing. And it's very upsetting. But next year, I'm gonna actually, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna come back stronger. And yeah, I got some tote bags and everything, so it's been pretty fun so far.
The whole of the weekend we had our POS table, where it was basically a free-for-all, take as much as you like. We didn't want to bring it back to the office with us, so take it all. Literally by Sunday I was like, just please take it all, we don't want it anymore. And this was things like prints, badges, bookmarks, signed book plates. It was really interesting to see how quickly some things went and how like not as popular some things were, but eventually we got rid of it all, and hopefully people can be enjoying that, decorating the books that they currently have. Also in the afternoon we had another activity. So this was to support our book, The Reluctant Vampire Queen by Jo Simmons. So we had a lucky dip that actually went down really, really well. It was quite a basic game in terms of like lucky dip, but Emma did a fab job with the decoration and the prizes that it was so popular. So there were loads of cards laid out onto the table, and people had to turn over one at random, and it basically told them if they were vampire royalty or not. If they weren't, they were unlucky, but they could still claim a bookmark. If they were lucky, they could win, like they could claim a candle that when you light it, it bleeds. Fizzy vampire sweets, some normal vampire sweets, little bat charms. It went so quickly, like it literally only lasted about half an hour before all the prizes ran out. So in the end, everyone was just getting the bookmarks instead. I think again, even from that, we've learned that, you know, maybe we had too many winners, maybe we didn't have enough prizes, but it was really fun to see people sort of get engaged and get excited over something that's actually quite a simple concept. People are also obviously excited about the books. People are asking, what book does this relate to? What book are you reading at the moment? What books are you publishing? Like asking about the books that were on our stand, which was really nice. Like you're in an area where it's really wholesome. Everyone has the same sort of passion, which is about books. One of the things that we also had on our stand all weekend was our birthday lucky dip key activity. So as I mentioned, our theme was our birthday. So we had a birthday lucky dip. We had 50 prizes a day that we wrapped up or put in envelopes. People had to take out from a box a gold key. That key had a number on it which correlated to a prize. They then opened the prize. We thought that was going to last all day. It literally went in about an hour. It was like hectic. Everyone was queuing up for it. So we immediately learned from that we either needed more prizes or we just needed to announce this, which we did on the next 2 days. It was just at 2 o'clock. Come and do it, first come, first serve. I think it also helped with our packing, because some of it we just wrapped up books like special editions, like a Luma Crate Fairy Loot, that sort of thing, but we also wrapped up envelopes that says free audiobook of your choice, free hardback of your choice, and they can email us to claim, which I think saved a lot of panic on the day for us, and also less for us to do on the day, less packing for us to do. So yeah, it was a really successful first day, especially in terms of sales. By the end of it, my feet ached. Like literally after the first day, I was so tired. I was expecting to be like full of energy the whole weekend, which I tried to be, but I genuinely was really tired after the first day. Morning, it's the second day. So moving on to day 2. Day 2 I kind of floated about a bit, but I started with selling. So we used the Sum Up app. We had a couple of card readers that connected to our work phones, and that proved to be really successful. That took a bit of planning beforehand as well, speaking to the finance department. We decided, because of finance's advice, we were going to be card only, which only affected I think a couple of people, but most people obviously do have a card or they have Apple Pay. We used the Sum Up app where you can actually itemise what people are buying. So we had deals on, so paperbacks were £5 or 2 for £8, which made them £4 each. So we had all of the titles that we're selling on the weekend listed on the app, so it was very easy to track what we sold and how much we had left of a quantity. Hardbacks were £9 or 2 for £15, and same applied again. We could see and we could track how many we've sold and for how much. The whole weekend we also had a Daughter of Darkness stunning print, which could be claimed with proof of purchase. So people could either show us that they pre-ordered it because it wasn't quite out yet, or they could go to the Waterstones that was a stand at YALC and go and buy it. It was available early there, and come back and show us that. This was also really popular. People really wanted it. We were like, I'm really sorry, like it's proof of purchase only. But I think that encouraged a lot more pre-orders as well, which obviously helps us. Waterstones did sell out on the first day, which is incredible, but it was a problem, but it was a good problem to have, you know. All weekend we had a raffle going to win the hotkey proof. So this is, again, in theme of our 10th anniversary, a book with the first few chapters of all the best-selling books from Hotkey from the last 10 years. It's also got notes from the authors and the editors and back ads to buy the next book in the series or buy the full version. People were loving this, and it was really designed really beautifully, so it had gold foil on it and everything, and we had a lot of entries for that, like hundreds a day. Also on the second day we had another raffle. This was to win Alexandra Christo's second book, Princess of Souls, so we only had 30 proofs going for the day, and I think we had over 600 entries, which is fantastic. Literally all we had to do for that is take a raffle ticket, come back to our stand between 4 and 6, or check my social media at 4. On the second day we made a lot of money in sales, probably because it was the Saturday. People hadn't come during the week, and so they were ready to spend some money, which was good for us. Our authors were doing a lot of panels and workshops, and I got to see one of our authors do one of hers, which was really nice to see a full audience, see some other authors interacting with her, and just see another area of YALC. We also had a game for When Women Were Dragons, which everyone struggles to say, at work by Kelly Barnhill. We had loads of POS, so it was signed book plates, it was a bookmark, it was a cookie, it was a print. If you figured out our secret password, which was posted online, which was basically, the answer was you had to turn your phone into dark mode to see it, they could come, tell us the password, and they can claim the prize. Again, that was more of an interactive thing, and people could sort of like join from social media. We also had a game for E. Lockhart's Family of Liars, or the prequel to We Were Liars. So it was 2 truths and a lie, so we had a load of cards, facts about Hotkey books and Family of Liars. People had to guess which one was the lie, and if they were correct, they could win a Family of Liars cupcake. This went down really well as well. The questions weren't too easy, weren't too hard, so we had a real mix of entries. On day 3, I was still just as knackered. We had some more activities going though. So we had the raffle, which again we had a few more entries for, and the whole day we had the confessions banner, which went down really, really well with visitors. So it was to support our book Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joy Goffney. People had to take a sticky note, write any confession they want anonymously, put it on the banner. They can claim a packet of sweets and a raffle to win a prize. Prize being a magic 8-ball, a yoga mat, and a cinema experience for 2 with popcorn, which I think was really nice. And this was just so fun just to see all the different confessions on there. I put a few on there myself. So there's some really vanilla ones, some really extreme ones. Watching you. Sorry. Yes!
So I'm currently running the Confessions of a Alleged Good Girl raffle. So there's a raffle to win a big mystery prize, and what people have to do is write their confession on a post-it note and then stick it to the banner. And then I give them some love hearts and a raffle ticket, and they enter the raffle. It's very exciting. I'm very excited about it.
This is my first time at YALC, and the last hour's been crazy, like crazy. I was kind of like, a bit shell-shocked.
And then the prize
people are so enthusiastic about books, like they just, it's really a wonderful kind of nice environment to be in actually. I'm just so happy to be here.
Hey, it's day 3 at YALC. It's my first day here this year, and it's been years since I've been, so it's really exciting. I've got some authors coming today who are doing some panels, and we're going to do some signing, and we're selling all of our books.
In the afternoon, I stood away from the stall and I headed into the green room as I was chairing a panel, which was really exciting. It was nice to do something completely different for the weekend and mix it up a bit, break up my day. So as I do on my YouTube, I was kind of interviewing people that work in publishing. So we had a few people on there. I was slightly disappointed because the time was advertised wrong everywhere, like on all the posters and everything. So people came at 3 o'clock thinking it started then, and it actually started at 2. So they were disappointed to see they'd missed it, and same on social media, which I was very, very sad about. But I was really grateful for people that did come and sit in the agents area, hear what it's like working in publishing, and it was really nice for me actually to like chair that panel as well and meet a few more people from the industry that I've not met before.
So we've just been on our panel. Feel free to introduce yourself. Stephen, go first.
Hello, my name is Stephen, all my bookish life here at YALC.
Nice. Next.
Hi, I'm David. I'm books underscore polished here at YALC.
Next. Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm at Miss P. Jane, and I'm here at YALC. And what do we do today? We were on a panel!
How to make the panel shame.
Whilst on my walk back from that panel to the stand, I also noticed a couple of signings that were going on. So I saw Jacqueline Wilson and I saw Alice Oseman as well, both of which had really long queues for people to get their book signed. It was such a shame that by sort of about 5 o'clock a lot of people were going, and it meant it was time to pack up. It was definitely a long weekend, but so worth it, so rewarding, really tiring, but I really enjoyed it. I knew what to expect, but it was like you never fully know how it's going to turn out, especially from the publisher side as well. You want everything to go really well, and it did. Everyone was really engaged about activities. We had a few hundred newsletter sign-ups, we sold a lot of books, and hopefully sort of people recognised us as Hotkey Books. We had that brand recognition now. So yeah, we started packing away. We did it pretty quickly, to be honest. We just tore everything down. It only took us about half an hour, and then we collected the van and it was all ready to go. I also quite like the skills that I gained from that. I had a lot of selling skills that I'm not used to. I haven't had experience being a bookseller or anything, but I feel like I did, you know, an okay job, and it was really satisfying when I actually got someone to buy a book or do like an upsell. So, you know, if they tell me, asking what sort of stuff they like and suggesting a book, telling what they might like about it, saying that we've got like free bookmarks as well to go with it, obviously making the most of the 2 for £8 paperback, 2 for £15 hardback deal. It was just really rewarding when you got that. It was sort of like a yes moment inside my head. And also it gave me a lot of confidence in our books as well. I feel like when you publish so many books a year and you work on so many, it's easy to sort of like forget, and sometimes they merge into one. But actually it made me realise that I've read so many of our books, so many of them are different, so many of them are great, and it kind of gave me a confidence in talking about them. The people was definitely a massive highlight. It was so lovely to see some of the people that watched my YouTube channel and said really nice things. It was very weird, but it was really nice to see that as well. It was really nice just to like meet a few like librarians and teachers and stuff. There was a real mix of people. It's a young adult literary convention, but there were people that were adults there were people that were teenagers there, saw some people from TikTok on there. Overall, like one of the massive highlights of working in marketing and publicity and working in publishing. Really enjoyed it. I'm still a week later recovering from side effects. I've got a bad back, my feet are still aching, still a little bit tired and worn out, but so worth it. My video content throughout the weekend is a little bit hit and miss. It's a little bit all over the place, but I think because I was working, it was really hard to get that kind of content. It's definitely a massive experience for me. I really, again, really enjoyed it. I'd love to know if any of you guys did come to it, if any of you watching now did come to YALC and you made it through all of this rambly vlog. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if you bought any of our books while you were there, if you saw me there. So yeah, that is my YALC summary. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope if you came to YALC you enjoyed that as well, whether you came for one day or the whole weekend. If you missed out, I hope this video gives you kind of some insight into what it was like, and yeah, hopefully see you in my next video. Thanks, bye.